This is the Wrestling Old Head. You have entered the portal of pro wrestling.
What the world is watching.
Okay, this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, but I held off on it because I think it's important to let what I'm going to talk about coincide with WWE Survivor Series. Now, if you've watched this channel and if you've watched some of my more recent videos, I have talked pretty extensively about WWE's War Games, specifically the men's War Games, and which direction I thought that they would go in. The first War Games video, in my head, I had envisioned an all-star, star-studded War Games event with the fan favorites on one side and the most hated on the other, and it's jam-packed full of all-stars. That was before Seth Rollins was injured. Now, after Seth Rollins' injury, I had this other imagination of where I thought that the War Games would go. And that is also going to be skewed based on what happened this past Monday on Raw. So bear with me here. Today, in the Portal of Pro Wrestling, we're going to go to Speculation Station. But before we talk about War Games, there's something else that I want to talk about that coincides with War Games. And that is Brock Lesnar. That's right. We're going to talk about Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock Lesnar, after being gone for very controversial reasons, which I'm sure anybody that has an internet can give it a goog and find out all of the stuff that's going on with Brock Lesnar and a court case involving Mr. McMahon, etc., etc. When he made his triumphant return to the WWE, it was to battle John Cena at WrestlePalooza, a part of John Cena's farewell tour. Brock Lesnar beat the brakes off John Cena. It was very reminiscent from 11 years prior when John Cena got destroyed by Brock Lesnar. So it was very much like a sequel, a rehash, if you will, or a requel, you know? And Brock Lesnar defeated him very single-handedly, very convincingly, and then, just like a thief in the night, he disappeared, and we could not see him anymore. And it left fans puzzled. A lot of fans wondered why John Cena doesn't get a chance to get his get back, why Brock Lesnar decided to disappear and we haven't seen him since, and I'm here to give you my theory on why I think that is. So it's Speculation Station for now, but by the end of this video, I very much believe that you will be convinced of the exact same thing. And if you're not, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Tell me that I'm full of crap. Tell me when I'm telling lies, okay? Now, before we get into this video, I must preface, I have no sources. I have no inside whistleblowers in the WWE. I am simply a fan just like you, and I just say the quiet parts out loud because I have a microphone and a channel, and that's where I get a chance to let out all my theories and some of the things that I observe from professional wrestling, including the WWE. With that being said, if you enjoy this and other videos on my channel, please feel free to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and on the way out, go ahead and drop a thumbs up. It really helps the channel and, helps me get out there a little bit more, and the more you like, the more theories I'm going to throw out. Simple as that. Consider this an online handshake agreement. All right, let's get into it. Brock Lesnar beats John Cena and disappears into the night. Now, the last time we saw Brock Lesnar before he beat John Cena was when he wrestled Cody Rhodes after Cody Rhodes finished the story. Or actually, he couldn't finish the story. It was when he lost to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And the very next night on Raw, it was Brock Lesnar that came out and wanted to team with Cody Rhodes. That tag match never happened. Brock Lesnar beat up Cody, which led to a PLE match between Cody and Brock, in which Cody won. Brock gave Cody his flowers and disappeared into the night. There had been rumors that Brock was going to come back and wrestle Gunther at the following WrestleMania. That never happened because of these circumstances that, like I said, you can find it, give it a goog. All the information is provided on the internet for you. So, I believe personally that the WWE wanted to reinvent Brock Lesnar, and if you ask me to be completely transparent, I feel that John Cena had a hand in this as well. And I think it is for a good reason, so we're going to get to that. So Brock Lesnar is now back in the WWE, but they wanted to reinvent him. No different than Michael Myers, no different than Jason Voorhees, no different than Freddy Krueger. A reinvention of the boogeyman. And if there is any boogeyman in the WWE, it is Brock Lesnar. The stories of Brock Lesnar in the ring, outside of the ring. He is elusive. He is scary. And they wanted to make sure that you knew that. The new fans that are watching the WWE, that are growing into the WWE, they want to let you guys specifically know, not just the old heads like myself, not just the guys that have been watching since 2010, 2015, but the newer fans that have caught on after COVID. They wanted to let you know who Brock Lesnar was, a reinvention, if you will. And he came back looking arguably better than he's ever looked before in his entire professional wrestling career. The man is jacked. He looks like he grew like another 6 inches in height as well. So with that being said, beating John Cena during his farewell tour, there were young kids in the crowd that were crying. Mission accomplished. Brock is now the boogeyman, and he can pop up whenever, wherever, for whatever reason. So they have successfully reinvented Brock Lesnar, or at least not a reinvention, but more like a reimagining, or back to his factory reset, if you will. He is back to the Brock Lesnar that everybody was afraid of when he came back from the NFL, when he came back from the UFC. Came back with a vengeance, and that's exactly what Brock Lesnar did. Now let's talk about why they did that. John Cena losing to Brock Lesnar and never getting a chance to get a get back is because he's retiring. He is walking off into the sunset. Brock Lesnar is the one guy that he could never beat. If you look at Superman, Brock Lesnar is John Cena's Superman's doomsday, right? So Brock Lesnar is the doomsday to John Cena's Superman. I think in the entire feud that John Cena had with Brock Lesnar, I believe he only has one singles win over Brock Lesnar. And I could be wrong. You can fact check that and let me know down in the comments if that is the case. John Cena could not beat Brock. And he's even admitted, even recently, that he's afraid of him. Cut to John Cena's final match. He has made a point that the winner of the last tournament, the last time, back for the last time, or the last time is now tournament, is going to face John Cena at Saturday night's main event. I have every belief that John Cena will lose. When John Cena loses, that person that wins will have a victory over John Cena, but not just any victory. A final victory over John Cena. Ultimate passing of the torch. Now that person has a victory over John Cena, and Brock Lesnar has a victory over John Cena. Many, but specifically one during his farewell tour. That is going to lead to a battle. Brock is going to go after the guy that retired John Cena. And so you look at the way that this is playing out, and you look at all of the chips that lay before you as far as participants in this tournament, and what guy makes the most sense to beat John Cena in his final matchup in the WWE at Saturday night's main event, and eventually go on to meet Brock Lesnar? If you said Gunther, you're absolutely correct, because that makes sense, and that is big business. Gunther has been going on a streak of terrorizing professional wrestlers and dominating, very similar to Brock Lesnar. The only difference is Gunther does it his way. He did it as Big Van Walter. He did it as Walter in NXT. Big Van Walter was what he went by when he was working the independents at the very beginning of his career. Then as Walter in NXT, Walter, but he said it with an accent. And then he reinvented himself as Gunther. And the same dominance. Didn't miss a beat with the dominance. He only got better. So now when Gunther comes back, beats John Cena, which I believe is going to happen. I believe Gunther wins the tournament, beats John Cena, and then moves on to potentially WrestleMania to get that match that he never got to have with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, at this WrestleMania. So, Brock Lesnar, when will he come back? Well, I believe he's coming back before he wrestles Gunther. And I think he's going to establish that same type of dominance. he is going to be an even bigger boogeyman. So what type of a match can you accentuate that type of intensity and exhibit that type of fear to the opponents? It's in a match where they really don't have anywhere to run. War games. War games. So, this upcoming War Games, we have already laid out the table of the first 6 participants that are going to be involved. On one side, you've got CM Punk, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes. On the other side, you've got Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. So far, we've got 3 of potentially 5 participants in War Games. So, let's work this out here. Rumor and innuendo is that Drew McIntyre was suspended on SmackDown because he's going to film a movie. His agent came out and said that filming of that movie will not happen until 2026, and this is all a part of a storyline. Now, the agent, mind you, did not say that it was a part of the storyline. Many reports have come out since that agent has come out and said that have alluded to the fact that this was a storyline. So, full disclosure, if Drew is suspended on SmackDown, he can show up on Raw at any time. And who better to work around that suspension than Paul Heyman? So Paul Heyman brings Drew McIntyre in. You've got 4 on that side. You've got Bronson Reed, you've got Braun Breaker, you've got Logan Paul, and you've got Drew McIntyre. Drew has history with all of the 3 individuals on the other side of that ring. Cody Rhodes, which is recent, CM Punk, feud of the year last year, and Jey Uso, a battle that they have had for a long time. So who do you put as the 3rd man or the 4th man on the other side of that ring? Well, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has a history with Bronson Reed. Recently, Bronson Reed has a win over Roman Reigns. There's also history between Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. There's history between Roman Reigns and Logan Paul. There is tension between Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns on that side as well. There's also tension with Roman and Jey, tension with Roman and Cody, tension with Roman and CM Punk, which I believe that will be the WrestleMania main event. To be honest with you, getting a little ahead of myself, burying the lead, I do feel that Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns and CM Punk will collide eventually, and I believe it's going to happen at WrestleMania. So this would definitely set the tone there, right? So now we've got 4 on 4. But what if they added 5 on 5? And here's where the book closes here. And I know I've gone through so many different types of theories on who the participants are going to be at the War Games, but I am set in my ways here, and this is my final answer. On one side, you've got Logan Paul, you've got Braun Breaker, you've got Bronson Reed, you have got Drew McIntyre, and then you add Brock Lesnar. And on the other side, you've got Roman Reigns, you've got CM Punk, you've got Cody Rhodes, you've got Jey Uso, and you've got the newest WWE Intercontinental Champion, John Cena. The intertwining threads of this story here. War Games, for all its flaws and sometimes it feels like people are thrown together, this is the War Games match that makes the most sense. And by God, it is the most star-studded War Games match I think I have ever seen on paper. Every single person in that War Games is either going to be a superstar or is already a superstar. You've got some of the best that the WWE has to offer in one ring at the same time in a match called War Games. And this would be John Cena's first War Games. This match makes so much sense that it would be incredible if the WWE passed on this opportunity. In fact, the WWE is talking about declining ticket sales. People are talking about them losing their edge. This is the match that gets the WWE back going viral. They will be back in the good graces of the fans. That's the type of match that would justify outrageous ticket prices. People maxing out their credit card to see a match like this live. This is the match that they need to go towards at War Games. And this, Brock doesn't have to win. Brock just has to dominate. Brock doesn't have to take the pin. Brock just has to dominate. And then Brock can go off into the sunset. Gunther could go ahead and beat John Cena at the Saturday night's main event. And then sometime around the Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber, he can show up and confront Gunther. That's where I think this is going. It makes the most sense to me if you follow any of the YouTube content creators. You have probably seen my comment talking about this. Everything from Busted Open Radio to the Millennial Smark to JD from NY206. I've made this comment where I feel like that is the War Games that makes the most sense. If you guys think that should be the War Games, I posted something in my post thread on YouTube where you can go and you can vote if you think this match is possibly going to happen and what you think of this match. So I invite you, go ahead and leave your comment on that post and let me know if you think this match would make any sense at all. But that's where I feel like it is with Brock Lesnar. A lot of people haven't been talking about it because Brock has been absent from television, but I really feel like this is what they're doing. There are very few boogeymen in the WWE right now, if at all. You can argue that Aleister Black is getting close to it. You can argue that, Uncle Howdy, as elusive as he is, could potentially be that boogeyman. And Rusev being crazed-eyed and the way his entrance is, he could be a boogeyman. But the only boogeyman in the WWE that really has the cachet behind him is a Brock Lesnar. And they're going to make sure that you know that, so that when Gunther beats Brock, it makes sense. Gunther has beaten almost every WWE legend. He's beaten Goldberg. He's beaten Randy Orton. Now he gets to retire John Cena. And then he gets to beat Brock Lesnar. Talk about a legend killer, right? So it makes sense to me, you guys, but I want to hear what you guys think. Go ahead in the comments. Let me know what you think of the War Games match and where you feel they're going with Brock Lesnar and who you think is going to win that last time is now tournament to face John Cena. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you so much. If you like this video and more, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and please subscribe. It's free. It's a handshake agreement. You subscribe and I will hit you with the hotness. I got all the wrestling news, info, theories, predictions, and all that you can handle. Just hit subscribe on the channel. This is the Wrestling Old Head. Thanks for tuning in and coming into the portal of pro wrestling and speculation station. Stay tuned for more.